Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Nobody here again, bringing you another episode of Making Nobody Happy. And today I want to talk about a balanced equation. That's what I like to call this. And by that, if you've noticed, maybe if you've listened to some of the other things I've talked about, sometimes I like to look at things like cell biology, or even in this case, physics, to sort of create a metaphor or use it to understand things about our own daily lives, our own macro lives. And for example, I talked about borders and what we can learn from cell walls, what cell walls and cell membranes can teach us at a more macroscopic about borders, both in our own life and also at the level of superorganisms like a country or a state. Because I really think there's a sense in which the higher builds up from the lower, and often the things that you learn at the lower really scale up and you can actually learn things from them. So in this case, what I want to talk about is men and women. That's part of our life. It's part of what our species is. It's part of what the majority of all species is males and females. And so in this case, I want to talk about it from the perspective of particles. So, a balanced equation. The lesson of the long history of sexual specification is that life is not actually best served by reduction to a single strategy or morphology. So what then is the ideal number of strategies or morphologies for a species? At the individual and embodied level, the answer is as many as there are individuals. Each one provides an element and an avenue to success. Each is a contributing morpheme, to borrow a term from linguistics. But at the level of biological organization and morphological strategies, of which individuals are only particular examples, the answer seems to be two: a strategy and its opposite, or mate, the positive and negative ions of an elemental structure. So these two will always, by necessity, be in tension with one another. Their function is to pull the body of mass in opposite directions. They have some antagonism to each other, but they also contain a fundamental attraction to each other. As between ions, each seeks their mate and complement to achieve a balanced physical equation. We're getting a little bit into, as I said, chemistry and physics here. So the important difference between this equation idea and a world involving, say, only neutrons, no ions, is you achieve balance through the combination of complementary charged particles, not through just all having only uncharged interchangeable neutrons. That don't pull one direction or the other. So the structure of life, by having this division in it, is ionic balance, not neutrality. It's an equation, not an integer. It's electricity, it's exchange, it's tension, not equivalence. Of course, in order for the equation to balance, both ions must be of equal value. You cannot have an effective exchange, even in a complex interaction, if the value of one side of the equation doesn't contribute, or if the other side doesn't receive it. Relationships, which is what we're talking about here. We're not just talking about we are a thing. We're saying, oh, the thing that we are is a relationship. Relationships are much more volatile and unstable in many ways than inert neutral particles. But they're also more powerful and tenacious when their bonds are properly formed and maintained. And that's just a way of looking at the world, thinking about the world, thinking about the human relationship, thinking about the relationship between men and women. What do you think it is? What do you think we are? Are we all just static neutrons sitting around, easily swapped out one for the other, neutral? Why are we divided the way we are? What is the power in that? What is the danger in that? And I would say the danger is life isn't meant to just be us all sitting here. It's this relationship. It's this ionic bond. And if you understand something, you can get a far more powerful and dynamic thing basically out of this if you actually have these complementary particles. It creates something far stronger and far more able to do different things. It's also more unstable. That's the price you pay for actually investing both sides with meaningful power. And that's all I have to say for today. We'll see you next time.